Ohio Governor John Kasich served in Congress during a government shutdown back in 1995. He was also chairman of the House Budget Committee 3 years later when the country balanced a budget for the first time in decades. Kasich was the last Republican standing against Donald Trump in the Republican primary race in 2016. He delivered a speech during his campaign that he called two paths to distinguish himself from his opponents.
Two paths. One choice, the path that exploits anger, encourages resentment, turns fear into hatred, and divides people. The other path is the one America has been down before. It's well-trod. Yeah, at times it's very steep, but it's also solid. It's the same path.
Now, that speech inspired the title of the governor's new book. It's called Two Paths, America Divided or United. He joins us now at the table. Governor, it's good to have you back.
God, I look so young. I mean, what happened to me? I used to be young.
You are still young,
So was
sir.
Charlie.
I was going to say, tell me about
You
it.
still look good, though.
He's young, too. Years from now, you believe that historians will scratch their heads and look at this election as a tipping point. What will they see?
It was completely nuts. People yelling and screaming and making wild promises and tearing each other down. I mean, I'd stand on the edge of the stage and just shake my head. And I couldn't believe that the people watching, were just not outraged. And then, of course, you folks would take these clips, and the more incendiary they were, the more you would play them. And it was just a bad outcome. And I think, frankly, a lot of people in the media have regrets about the way in which they covered the race. And I don't know if the politicians do. I'll tell you the other thing that's so funny is that people don't think that when you're in politics and you have principles that they're real. So when I wouldn't endorse Trump or go to the convention, people are like, well, you know, he's bitter or angry. I'm the farthest thing from that.
You said
it's
you
just
felt
that
no pressure to go to the convention,
No, I
even though
didn't.
you were pressured.
My words mean something to me.
Yeah.
And when somebody was pulling somebody down, I'm not going to go for them. I'm not going for any candidates in either party that are going to seek to divide us, including my own party. We can't have that anymore in this country. And look, it's not just politicians, it's all of us. We've got to get our act together and realize these other human beings that we may not agree with are decent and good people. We got to listen to them a little bit.
Well, you said that.
Take one point that's right here, and we're talking about this week. Based on your experience, do you think we'll have a government shutdown?
No, because no one wants one. And I think the people who are way out there and want to be destructive, I think they would not be listened to. The question is, can they pull some of the Democrats, they have to be able to support continuation of the government? I suspect it'll be worked out.
You said you never thought that Donald Trump would win, but he won, and that we should listen to that.
Well, look, I mean, there are a lot of people hurting out there. People who've lost their jobs or on the verge of losing their jobs, or they're not making any money. I get those people. I grew up in that environment. And so we have to give them hope. What you can't tell them is it's somebody else's fault that you're in the position you're in. We have to deal with you, and we have to get you up on your feet and give you hope that tomorrow will be a better day. If we don't do that, the political system grinds down. But look, we think about the political system, and then we look at United Airlines, and we see normal human beings yanking some guy off of an airplane. I mean, what were people thinking, you know? So we have to unite ourselves, because if we continue to be divided, we're not going to make progress as a nation or as a culture.
Your party, and the Republican Party, controls the legislative and the executive branch. It's an incredible opportunity to put in place a lot of changes that conservatives would like. The repeal of Obamacare, specifically Medicaid expansion, you've put that into place in Ohio. If they repeal that, what would happen?
They would devastate people in my state. Now, there is a way to fix all of this, and I don't think there's anybody that doesn't think that Obamacare can't be improved. The exchanges, there's ways in which you can fix the Medicaid expansion. But the funny thing is, it's gotten so bad that when the Republicans took over, they never thought about talking to Democrats. Nothing big ever can be sustained if you don't have both parties working with it, whether it's the Balanced Budget Act of '97, whether it's reforming welfare. You have to have people working together in that place. Now, here's the other thing. These politicians, I swear they think they're going to be there forever. They're not going to be there forever. And so what are you doing to improve the world while you're there? And again, everybody wants to only focus on politics. What about EpiPen jacking up their prices and hurting families? What about Wells Fargo filing false accounts? See, Charlie, look, all of you, we have to remember the values our mothers and fathers taught us and carry them through life, because life is short, and we will be measured at the end of our lives by what we did, not by what title we had or how much money we had.
Yeah, you say it's not a question of leadership in this country, it's a question of followship, a new word you made up.
Well, you need great leaders, but you need followers. And if a leader's not going to take you to a better place, why are you following? And if the leader gets off track, it's important for you to say no. I mean, if you think about a football team, the coach is the person that kind of sets the direction, but when the coach leaves, it's the players in the locker room that provide the leadership. It's leadership where we all are. And look, people need to realize they matter. I don't care whether you're the CEO or the person turning off the lights at night. You can make a difference in the way the world works. And my solution is we find common humanity. Everybody's fighting with one another. People can't even have weddings without fights breaking out, okay? So here's what I think. People need to work in a food bank to feed the kids. Everybody's for that. We need to fight the scourge of drugs. Everybody's for that. We need to visit the elderly when their spouse dies. These kinds of things will pull us together, and forget all these big politicians. Martin Luther King didn't fix America by starting at the top. The politicians wouldn't even meet with him. He drove it at the community level, exposed the moral outrage, and we all got together, or they all got together, God bless them, and drove change from the bottom up and united the country.
And soon he was in the Oval Office dealing with Lyndon Johnson about civil rights legislation.
Yeah, well, look,